Very good. What do you think?
Yeah.
Could you do that? And then how would you demonstrate? Would you have them write it
I
out?
would have them put a dot. Put
Yes!
a dot on the part of the body that hurts.
There we go. So in the survey, you have a body chart, right? And then they would like mark down where on the body. Yes. What else? What other any kind of question?
This isn't directly related to, I guess, the physical aspects, but whether it's differentiated between a room where there's a checkout and a room where there's a continuing guest.
A checkout or an occupied.
Yeah.
There we go. So a difference between a checkout room and an occupied.
In terms of the numbers.
That's right. So how long does it take you to do a checkout room versus how long does it take you? Very good question. A checkout room usually takes 45 minutes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Right? So that's right. So they get 41 minutes. They get so sometimes they have to cheat. They have to do shortcuts and different things like that. But we'll talk about that another time. What other kind of question?
Have you been to your doctor?
Very good. Have you been to the doctor? Did the doctor diagnose this case, right? Right. So one of the trainings I would say is, so you're going to go to your doctor, and what are your doctors going to say? Or what is the housekeeper going to say? Oh, what is your name? Amy. Hey, man, you're Facebook friends. Amy. See, they're going to say, oh, Amy, we're all getting old. You're getting old. I'm getting old. So, that's why you're going to, right? So one of the things that we're going to train Amy is on how to say is, no, it's not because I'm getting old. If you're old, you should be able to do this job too. Right? It doesn't matter. It should be safe and healthy for everybody. Right? So that's what we train the room attendants when they go see their doctor. Get beyond that. Break through that. Right? And then be very clear about what's going on. But that's part of the training. But that is also a good question. Anything else? Yes.
In the survey, it seems like it would be important to set up, like what you just did, you walked us through what the actual action is, and it makes you think already about where the pain is. We know I've done health and safety surveys where, like, with auto workers on ergonomic type stuff, right? And a lot of times people do think that the issue is just, like, outside of work related. Unless you contextualize it for them, they're just like, oh, they're used to it. They're used to the pain,
Yeah, right.
So they're not going to their doctor and just saying, oh, my shoulder hurts, and not mentioning the fact that it's because they're doing overhead work all day.
That's exactly right. Okay, now I'm going to switch guys off of this. I want to talk about, so I didn't notice her using her head to change the pillowcase. So why are there 4 dots there in the head?
Because you kept yelling at it.
Is stress part of health and safety? Yes, right? So that was the one thing I really had to hammer, because stress is part of health and safety. So I was kind of picking on her, right? But I was picking on her for fun, but there are inspectresses that pick and do stuff that's not fun. Right? When I worked at the union, there was this one inspectress at the St. Francis. You have to wear black shirt. She would actually lay down in the bathroom and sweep her hand along the floor and show the room cleaners, see what you missed? Right? Getting the dust off. Isn't that sick? Right? So one of the things that came up around the stress is a role play, but I'm not sure whether I got it for you. Let me see what's it. GRA is guest room attendant. That's what they call the person in a GRA. And then there's a housekeeping person who's downstairs answering the phone. So the setup is a GRA is given many rush rooms. That's rooms that need to be cleaned as soon as possible, right? Because important people like you are checking in early. So another GRA offers the helper, but is denied by the floor supervisor. The overwhelmed GRA calls downstairs to complain and seek help. This is an actual case that came up in Las Vegas, right? So who would like to be the GRA, the guest room attendant? Who would like to? What's your name?
Sarah.
Sarah's the guest room attendant, and who's the very nice and compassionate housekeeper in housekeeping? Who wants to be the? Okay, what's your name?
Allison.
Allison. Okay, so Sarah, you're picking up the phone, da-ding, 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 and you're saying,
I need help. I don't have enough time to do what I need to do. Oh, do I need to read?
yeah. Sorry.
Where am I?
Okay,
I need help.
I'm sorry.
I think I'm on the wrong thing.
Where is this?
Activity
number 3.
I don't
Okay,
think it's
thank
here.
you. Okay. I need help.
Oh, I just guessed that.
You are really good.
But the floor supervisor will not give it. Can you send someone up to help me?
Well, we're willing to talk to our maids. You can come down here and talk to me in English. We discuss everything here in English, so you need to speak to me in English, okay?
That's all right, never mind.
That actually happens. The housekeeper downstairs speaks Spanish too, right? And can totally understand, but refuses to speak to her in Spanish or to solve the problem. Right?
Wow.
That was it. And I said, huh. I thought it was kind of an odd story. I said, does this happen a lot? And all the room cleaners, yeah! I mean, I had 80 room cleaners, yeah! People like, so situations like that went into crafting stress questions, right? Right. So if you were going to craft a question, what kind of question might you craft around this particular thing? This scenario or stress? Just any kind of stress. What could cause you stress?
Discrimination
Discrimination?
based on your native language.
Yeah, yeah. Anything else could cause you stress?
Being harassed.
Yeah, like that rush room? Yeah, right.
Not like
And what I was doing?
the nitpicky managers who want to just pick
Yeah,
at every
yeah,
little
yeah.
thing that you're not doing wrong. You're doing wrong, but nothing you do right.
Right, right. So there would be questions like that, right? Okay, since we're kind of running along, I don't want to tell, I want to get you to, but does anybody have a stress question that they think might have been asked here? Okay, so one of them was true or false? I am required to speak and understand English when I talk to my supervisor. That was a question that was in the survey. Another is, in meetings with my supervisors, I receive instructions and assignments that are clear and easy to understand. So that came up as something that was in the morning meetings when they're barking out stuff, right? And sometimes it's just like, well, what just happened? What am I supposed to do, right? And then I have all the information about changes in personnel policy in writing and in a language I can read and understand, right? So those were different kind of survey things. So out of this, this particular work that I did with Las Vegas, I don't think you have this. Do you have this one?
Yes,
You do? Oh, yay! So it says that I speak for ourselves, right? The voice, the legitimacy of the information that was gathered. So somebody read the first one. Do you know what page I'm on? This one.
It looks like this.
Okay, first one. The first one. Can you read it?
Survey action.
Yeah, survey towards action. So we speak for ourselves. So somebody want to read the first one?
74%, 941 DRAs of the workforce turned out to take the survey.
How many times do you get 74% turnout? Alright, done, next one.
85% of the participants were born outside the USA.
Next one. Next one.
66% of GREs skipped lunch or took shorter breaks in order to complete their work assignment.
Yes. So, remember I was telling you about the minutes? Right, the minutes that they have? Okay, so there's 30 minutes for lunch, right? And 20 minutes for breaks? Do you think they took their full breaks at lunch? They didn't. They didn't take their full breaks at lunch. So, then the next one,
Pam,
yes.
could you tell us, remind us why not taking the breaks is a health and safety issue?
Oh, yeah. So, thank you very much. So, people who are in health and safety know that people fought hard for those rest breaks to be able to drink water, go pee, and your physical body is able to just relax. 10 minutes can be a big deal. And then for the 30 minutes in terms of health is fuel. You know, you're working that hard, you need to have enough fuel and be able to take that fuel in, and not where your stomach is all, and your whole muscles and everything is all tense, but you can sit down and eat in 30 minutes without rushing, right? So that is in terms of important aspects of staying healthy when you go into the work and you go home at night, that you have had the opportunity to rest and recover, especially drinking water, right, during those 10 minutes. Right? So there are other kinds of things that are on here. The workload increased in 15 areas, including cleaning glass mirrors and doors, collecting soap. So in these areas, we did a map, and then they showed over time since the last contract what were all the added things, right? Okay, I'm going to just kind of here. 18,654 union members turned out on May 16th, 2002 for a strike vote and voted yes, versus 877 who voted no. Okay, so if the hotels did not agree to union demands to preserve health and welfare benefits and address the GRA issues, they were going to be ready to go on strike. I was there when they took that strike. Have you ever seen 18,000 people come in totally determined, right, and strong? And they were determined and strong because of the information and the surveys that they got. They knew that they would be able to go to the table as equals, be able to speak for themselves because it was their own voice. They gathered the data. They had the stories, right? And so there was, yeah, this is another story. I'll tell you. So this was in terms of the impact that it had on the whole city of Las Vegas. Las Vegas, just totally ready. Yes.
Who delivered the surveys to the workers? Did other workers deliver the survey to the workers, and were they trained?
Oh, very good.
How were they trained?
Excellent. So what happened was that we had different days. We did the survey over a course of a week when you get all that many people. So the surveys were taken in a big hall. Okay, and so room attendants were assigned by hotel that day. Particular hotel would be the Bellagio, and the Frontier for that day would come to the union on that day to take. And then the people who administered the survey, I got Las Vegas, UNLV students. I trained them on how to administer the survey, and it could be in different languages. It was in Russian, it was all kinds of languages we were able to snip. And I trained them on understand the intent, but not to be able to give the answers, understand the whole protocol. They had 2 days of training I did with them. How they got to the site is the room cleaners. It was on the phones, doing outreach, saying, we're going to do this survey. You got to come. It's a way to give our voice, right? And so that's we got, and then the fact that we had all of these room attendants that participated, and there were leaders. They went back into their hotels and organized by floor, right? how many room attendants are gonna be, and the turnout. So this accounted for a great thing in terms of, so a benefit of going this is it's an organizing tool. It empowers people, and this is my opportunity to speak, right? So that's, yeah.
So Pam, I think
Yeah,
that's a
we're-
perfect kind of transition to maybe get questions for both Steve
Yes.
and Pam,
Now it's
because
good.
you're integrating the students, as Steve has done very intentional. And I would like you both to, if you can write your contact information, so in case anyone has any follow-up questions, you can contact them. But if you've held any questions
this
for
is
Steve or
perfect.
Pam, and thank you so much, Pam, that was awesome.
Before I leave, I need to tell you about the contract fight that's gonna happen across the country. And hotel room cleaners are gonna need your help, and I can tell you the issue later.
Well, you got us curious, go for it, that's important. We're consumers here, so it matters.
Right. The issue, so workload. Have you gone to a hotel and they say, oh, we have the green program?
Right.
Bad! So that's why we call it, it's green for you,
Black and blue.
for the hotel,
Yeah.
and the room cleaners, but black and blue for us. So what happens is you get like maybe $5, buy a coffee, oh, wow. So you put your participate in the green program. That means that the room attendant does not go into your room to do certain things, right? What happens is accumulation. If you sit there for 2-3 days, the accumulation of dirt and garbage and stuff is really bad. So they would prefer to be able to go into the room every single day. So that's one thing. The other is when you say you're not gonna, for the first 2 days, then they lay off room cleaners. So they can look at the schedule and then they won't, oh, we don't need 10 room cleaners because we've got 35 people participating in the green program.
And it's just-in-time scheduling then?
That's right. Okay? So that's why they are going to fight to keep this program out and put it in the contract. No green program.
Right.
Okay? That's it.
Come on, back up, Steve. So any questions for Steve or Pam, or comments about your work, challenges?
Yes.
So, this is really interesting. I'm happy I kind of fell upon this because community organization is what prompted me to go back to school. So it's kind of reverse, but I'm using my research opportunities in school to finish up my community organization work. But what you guys have going on is incredible. Is this only, I mean, do you know if these programs happening at other universities? Is this a common thing, or is this like a new,
I mean, I think I think the shift to service learning has been
Right.
community engagement. So they're starting to catch on the student side that this is a good thing. And so there are these opportunities. So service learning has taken off, but not necessarily